welcome, welcome. It's a very good morning from here. Thank you, thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to talk. Welcome to the live. Good morning from this side. Let me know where you are watching from. First to join in, let me know who is here. It's always interesting to note that people are in different seasons, different time zones. Right now, some people in the morning. Right now, some people are in the afternoon. Interestingly, some people are still asleep. Right, it should be around midnight in the US. Most African countries should be about the same. Talking about time zones, so let me know where you are watching from. Welcome to this live. Many times we talk about the algorithm and how um, one thing or the other helps people to be able to join in on a live. So now that we're having more people joining, welcome. Hello, Yusuf Aga. Welcome to this live. Welcome to my live. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's a very good morning from this side. May I know where you are watching from? I do not take your time for granted. Sonja Gius. Hope I got that correctly. Sonja, welcome to my live. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, Yusuf, welcome. Yeah, we are doing health, wellness, and lifestyle. We are meeting, we are chatting, and we are learning. So that's what we are doing here. Yusuf, thank you for joining. Where are you watching from? Please double tap on your screen. You say double tap on my forehead, okay? That way you like the live and more people can tune in so that we can get to meet. Please just drop in the chat where you are watching from. Okay, thank you for the like. I can see Okay. Sonja says we are. Yes, we are. The Archangel of Play. Welcome. Archangel of Play says, hello, hello, Archangel. Welcome to this live. The planet Archangel of Play Lee wants to ask you something with your is it permission or permission? Archangel of Play. What is it? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the like. Remember to double tap on your screen. Okay, so I want to welcome you once again to this live. And for those who are just joining in, remember you can double tap on your device to like this live. More people can join in as we get to meet. I'd like to meet you and chat and learn. So let's learn together. I want to be sharing some things with you on this live. Just stay tuned. I'm sure we've got a lot to learn together. How do you feel that all blood is separated by two cell types, strictly only that few? Archangel, you need to be a bit more specific with your question. What are the two cell types? Thank you for the second like. We can have more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to know where you are watching from. Kindly drop a comment about your location and what time it is in the chat. All right, so it's good to have you here. Let me know if you are just coming across my channel for the first time. I really like to meet with you. I like to chat. I like to learn. Okay. The Archangel of Play, very, very good question. Okay, I'm getting your question with more clarity now. Thank you. All right, so talking about cells, interestingly, um, man generally is made up of cells. Our bodies are made up of cells, and that's the smallest unit of man. And different organs in the body, including my eyes, the tongue, my mouth, my hands. You know, your skin actually are made up of cells. I'm sure you know that. Okay, so but the way the blood, which is an organ on its own, the system functions as a whole with different organs. The body functions as a whole. Okay, so but for the blood types, we talk about T cells, we talk about B cells, we talk about, okay, many people are aware of white blood cells. So on a general note, okay, but these different cells have different functions. All right, so T cells are ready to fight. They deal with all kinds of infections, and infections could be viral, infections could be bacterial, infections could be fungal. All right, so if growing up, okay, as an adult now, we learned about infections, we've learned about the different types of organisms that are responsible for infections. Okay, but in dealing with infections, the way God has actually designed our bodies, um, it's in such a way as to actually kill, first of all, anything that is strange in the body. And then there are some cells, actually, B cells, that act as defense against infections. All right, so that's the way God has designed the body. So naturally, that cells that we call natural killer cells. Naturally, your body is programmed, is made to fight off any form of infection. All right, so but if some things happen to your body and you are not able to bring up that fight, okay, I hope you are getting the point, then the individual may get overwhelmed with infection, be it viral, it could be bacterial, it could be fungal. All right, so there are organisms everywhere, viruses, and I'm talking right now, a lot of organisms are coming out. All right. So, but the body is natural. So, even if there's anyone around me, the body is naturally designed to deal with any strange, um, any intruder. That's the word. Any intruder to the body. All right. So let me know if you can hear me clearly. Am I audible? How do you feel that all blood is separated by two cell types? Okay. T cells and red cells far field to defend infections. How do you feel about that? Is it fair to humans? Interestingly, the archangel of play, okay, I don't know if I'm a content creator, all right, but the fact is that God has created us so perfectly, and we must appreciate that gift. I was looking for the title for this live, and I had to put there one question that one of my children asked and got me thinking. Okay, I'm sure you'll be interested in knowing that. So just stay tuned as we get into this. Welcome. If you are just joining in, where are you watching from? So the Archangel of Places, I'm just the planet, but what do you know? T cells take samples of damages to travel to the brain core that triggers a weaponizing against existing threat that invaded the human body. All right, so still explaining how the body defends. All right, so the term immunity, that's what we use to describe how the body is programmed or positioned to deal with infections. All right, so and there are things that can boost your immunity. There are things that you as an individual can maybe doing that maybe lowering your immunity. Okay, so I'll quickly mention uh, some of those uh, some of those things that may actually be harming your body, maybe lowering your immunity as an individual. All right, so I like to emphasize the fact that the human body is not just the health of an individual. It's not just about the body, it also consists of the soul and the spirit. So we cannot separate all this in the fact that one aspect of human affects the other. So if you are a strong person in spirit and you have a strong mind or soul, then positive one, then you are likely to enjoy your life. And as you also take care of your your body. So what are the things that can lower the immune system? All right. The first one I'm going to mention is that I put up a post some days ago in the community and has to do with what habits are you actually deciding to uh, make or build this week. Okay, I put the hydration, mindful eating, sleeping better, more movement. Okay, I think there are like four options. So you can check that and actually respond to that poll. Okay, a number of people who have responded to that poll actually have picked hydration. So I'm going to start with that. Even though it seems to be common, it seems to be Interestingly, we should have a water challenge and really be measuring. How many of us actually do you actually measure your measure your water intake in terms of the number of liters, the volume that you take in 24 hours? All right. So one of the ways to boost your immunity as an individual is to hydrate well. In fact, the body is made up of about 70% of water, human body. So if you are not hydrating well, um, because you are losing water in many ways, insensible water loss, respiration, sweating, you urinate and all. So there are various ways by which we lose water. So we must be replacing the losses. And interestingly, we should go beyond replacing the losses to actually having adequate levels of water. Now, because water will help to ensure that there's a good flow when it comes to your blood flow. All right. So the archangel of play, I believe you are still there. So I'm explaining how the cells, work, how they help in immunity, and how what you and I may be doing uh, that may lower the function of these cells. All right. So when we hydrate well, we are able to allow the blood flow through our vessels, the blood vessels through our system to be free, free flow, rather than clogging together. So it helps blood flow. So these cells that actually help to defend, that help to fight infections, are able to get to different parts of the body. Okay, because infection can affect any part of the human body. All right. So if you also hydrate well, you will enjoy clearance of toxins from your system. All right. So that's another one. Hydration helps to clear toxins from your system. All right. So some people find out that they have concentrated urine. And of course, that's a form of waste, but there's should be a level of concentration of your urine. If your urine is dark, maybe yellow, but dark yellow, it's like a sign. People complain about this. It may just be a sign that you are not hydrating well. Okay, so what do you need to do? Start hydrating first and see if there will be changes. And so, for those who also consume a lot of solutes, beverages, and this could also lead to uh, having concentrated urine. But when you hydrate well, all toxins, waste that may want to concentrate in your body will be flushed out. All right. And that's very important. So when there is good blood flow also helps uh, the different organs in the body. Apart from the defense against infection, they help in blood circulation, blood supply to different organs in the body. Okay, the archangel of play says evidence by science was capable of studying the anytime makeup of the man, but 2% of the man was uncountable for science. Made so that could possibly be evidence of that 2% of the man. So, okay, um, okay, thank you for the information, archangel of play. All right, so I'm still explaining how immunity works and how what we do, what you may be doing as an individual that may be lowering your immunity. All right, not drinking water adequately may be a reason why an individual's immunity is low. And then that may explain why some people are more prone to infections, okay, uh, easily, because that immune system is not strong enough to deal with infections or to actually wall off infections. All right. And there's something called there's a programming memory cells. The archangel of play. There are also memory cells, cells that are programmed, and the programming is such that when there's an initial exposure to a particular virus, bacteria, or fungus, the memory cells are programmed. They are cells that, but they become programmed to note that there's this particular organism. And when next such an organism presents after an initial appearance, the memory cells begins to take note and begin to work to attack such organisms. Okay, so that's one of the ways that the body works with the immune system to fight against infections. All right, it's been said that when this there's something about having over boosting of your immunity, or these memory cells, if they are overacting, over responding, may occur in allergies. Okay, that's why people have allergies, because sneezing, coughing sometimes are all actually responses to um, initial infections returning, and then the body trying to respond and fight. All right, so it may also be the reason for why some people have these infections in bronchial asthma. All right, so what else about immunity? Immunity can also be lowered when there is inadequate sleep. Okay, sleep is a resting mode, not just a resting mode. It's a place of reduced activity of the body. All right, and where, um, because God actually designed the body to to work, we designed us to move actually, but we also must have time to rest. Take out time to rest. And if you are not doing that, you may be experiencing lowering of your immunity. Okay, Yusuf Aga, Sanjay Gill, I hope you're still listening. Let me know if you're still here in the comments, in the chat. Let me see. Are you getting my points? Let me know in the chat. Welcome. If you are just joining in, remember to double tap. I say double tap on my forehead. That's the way they say it. No? Or just double tap on your screen, right? And like the live. You may even like to share this with your community um, as we get to meet, chat, and then learn together. Archangel of Play. I hope you kindly subscribe to the channel so that you can join the community, and we can grow together. We can learn together. It's a healthy community, and I'm sure that you will find um, interesting. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your feedback. Thank you. All right, so I was talking about things that may lower immunity. Now I'm talking about sleep being not just a restful mode, a mode of lowered minimal activity. Okay, but even though God has designed man to be mobile, to move, and we must be moving, but God also designed man to enjoy sleep, and you should be enjoying your sleep. Interestingly, now that's the question. One question one of my children asked. yesterday, and the question has to do with: Do you can is it possible for us to know the exact time that we fall asleep? Is it possible for us to know, for you to know the exact time that you fall asleep as an individual? Let me know. Okay, I'm going to ask that in the chat. Exact time that you when you fall asleep. You usually usually know the exact time that you fall asleep. Yes, yes, no. Okay, this should not cover my face. Where are we going to put this? Okay, let's be there. Let it be there for some time. So let me know in the comments, in the chat, if you know the exact time that you fall asleep. Do you usually know the exact time? Can you say for sure that you usually fall asleep at, I'm not talking about the time schedule for going to bed. I'm talking about exact time that you are no longer aware of happenings in your environment. Okay, let me know in the chat. Okay, welcome back. Let me know if you are just joining us or you've been here. Okay, you may like to respond to the poll or to the question. Do you usually know the exact time that you fall asleep? Mm, mm. I hope this is not covering my face. Okay, it's just up there. Mm, 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 mm. All right, so I was talking about how inadequate sleep, sleeping periods, may affect an individual's immunity. All right, so it happens this way that the sleep mode, there are different stages. The way the body works is that repairs are better when the body is at rest in the sleep mode. So your body is able to repair, the cells are able to repair better when you are in a restful mode. Okay, but when an individual is always active and sleep less, then such an individual may have challenges with the repair of cells and the body. There's a renewal that's supposed to take place, but when an individual does not sleep, get adequate rest or sleep, then that renewal may not happen. And sleep is not just in terms of quantity or duration of sleep, but in terms of the quality. Okay, some people, even though, yes, I need to mention that on the average, we talk about 6 to 8 hours, people talk about 9 hours. But for an adult, if you can get at least 6 hours of restful sleep, note the word restful. Okay, that means your mind is at rest, your spirit is in tune, and you have a very comfortable environment for your sleep that will favor sleep, then you are good to go. All right. So if you are able to catch at least 6 hours, you help your body to actually refresh, to renew, and you're able to perform better. So people's immunity are also affected where they have refused to enjoy this special gift from God, the gift of sleep. Sleep is actually a gift, okay? The Bible talks about God giving his beloved sleep. Okay, the Bible talks about God doesn't slumber or sleep. Okay, so why should I remain awake? I'm talking about physically when God is awake and watching. Okay, okay, so how much can you do? Sometimes people struggle with sleep, and in terms of when they feel sleepy, and they just they fight it rather than just obeying the call to sleep. It's actually a call, and it's a special call. All right. Am I encouraging oversleeping? No. In fact, I need to be checking myself to be sure that I'm gaining at least 6 hours of night sleep. I rarely sleep in the day. Uh, it must really be that I've done so much work over the night that I catch maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour of call it nap. Okay, but usually your body is programmed in such a way as to find that rest. Welcome. Let me know where you are watching from. Okay, thank you for the third like. Who is here with us? Do you usually know the exact time that you fall asleep? Thank you for responding to the question. Uh, he said no. Okay. Let's have more responses to that question. All right. I'm still talking about immunity, boosting your immunity, but we're starting with what are the things that may actually lower an individual's immunity. And then I talked about the question that one of my children asked, that how can I know? Is it possible to know? Maybe when you were younger, when you were a child, too, you have asked some questions before. Like there was a time I couldn't eat. When I was growing up, I couldn't eat. I decided not to take dinner that day because I was thinking that, oh, so people die. I was just thinking then that, oh, okay, so after some time here we live. And then it was later I started to understand that there's a life after here, that the body, man's life is not just about the physical, it's not just about the soul, the mind, but there's a spiritual side to man. So I began to connect these things. So you may have questions like that. I mean, growing up, you may have had questions that now you understand better. Okay. But this particular one, I really want to know, I want to learn. If there are people here, if you usually you can say, oh, I fell asleep around 3 minutes past 9 p.m. last night or 2 days ago. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you are able to uh, say that confidently. Let me know. All right. So, but if you are not able to say the exact time that you usually fall asleep, then let's have your answer in the question, that question box. All right. So, still talking about sleep, we must ensure that we are giving ourselves the required duration in terms of number of hours that is expected. And there are some things that you should avoid doing around your sleep. One very common one, and many people are guilty of this, is still scrolling, checking uh, your phone, whether it's for uh, social, social life or for work life or career life. May not just be your phone. It may include use of your tablets, your laptops, iPads, your desktop, whatever it is that you are using as a device. This is technological age. So there's a tendency for you to to spend more time, right? And we do that a lot. You can track how many hours you spend on your phone in a day now. There are many ways that you can monitor many things about yourself on phone. So if you do not put off your phone, I don't mean put off, or I don't mean switch off. I mean put away your phone at least about 30 minutes to 1 hour before bed. Then you are not likely to get good sleep. That is it, especially if you have been on it for hours. All right. So you need to note this. And I'm sure there are people who have experienced this before. You scroll, I mean, responding to messages, checking Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Google, Chat GPT. You're doing a lot, checking all those platforms. It may be so for socials, it may be legitimate for work. All right. So whatever it is, you must put some measure to what you are doing with your phone, with your tab, with your laptop, with your desktop, or whatever it is. So even with the TV, all right, we must be reducing the number of hours that we expose ourselves to, the lighting from our devices. These are things that this actually affects the quality of sleep that an individual can get. Affect the quality of sleep that an individual can get. All right. So if you are going to have that duration and the quality, then you should endeavor to put away your phone. I did a video on what happens when you put your phone, when you sleep, or put your phone close to yourself as you sleep. Okay, you can check out that video on the channel. Okay, let me know if you can still hear me. I hope I'm audible. I hope I'm audible. Please let me know if I'm audible. Still audible? Can you hear me? The Hack Angel of Play, are you still there? So, inadequate sleep in terms of the quality of sleep may affect an individual's immune system. All right. Then I'll just drop one more before and I'll move to the things that can help to boost your immunity. Okay, that's still talking about those cells. For them to function optimally, we must be doing some things. Now, on the last note, I'll talk about diet. Even though there are some other many other things, but I'll talk about diet. It's not new that diet filled with vegetables, fruits are actually essential for our health because this contains vitamins, minerals, in fact, water. You know about watermelon? Watermelon contains a lot of water and it contains sugar, and your body needs this to keep to also run. Okay, and it will also help your hydration. It will help your digestion. All right, it will help to prevent constipation. All right, so if you uh, do well on fruits and vegetables, in fact, a healthy plate should be 50% of fruits and vegetables. Okay, then we talk about uh, proteins. We talk about 25% proteins, fish. We talk about cereals. We talk about lean meats. We talk about uh, different other sources of protein, eggs. But the other 25% should be healthy fats. Okay, and this is very important. As much as possible, if you can air dry rather than frying with oil, is good. You can also use low cholesterol, non-cholesterol oils, for consumption, for frying and all. But as much as you can, reduce fried foods, processed foods. Okay, so diet is also a major thing to consider when it comes to boosting your immunity. Okay, so people have challenges with their immunity when they feed so much. Occasionally you can indulge in some of these things, but if you make it a daily habit, then you are not likely to have a good level of immunity. Remember our COVID period, a number of people with chronic medical conditions, people who were not eating healthy, were a bit more susceptible to the infection. And then you remember that there were a number of people, emphasis on warm water, warm drinks, fruits and vegetables, vitamins, vitamin C, omega 3 fatty acids, zinc, quite a number of um, recommendations for boosting immunity. So I pick it from there that if you eat healthily, if you do proper diet, you are likely to have a good level of immunity and then fighting um, infections will be just be good for your body, fighting infections, dealing with infections. So you are in a preventive mode rather than trying to heal. Okay. Then I talk about sleep. I've talked about the importance of sleep. So when you sleep adequately, restful, your brain is able to function better. Other organs in your body are able to work better. All right, so you're able to perform better. Your productivity is actually increased or improved with quality sleep. All right, have you been trying to do something when you were already tired, when you were feeling stretched or stressed, and you could really you could do little or nothing until you actually decided to take a good rest. I've been there before, and after that good rest, you're able to perform even better. Okay, you're able to be more productive. All right, so these are important things to note. And I started by talking about water. So I'll talk about the advantage of water. So water will help to boost your immune system. So thank you, the Archangel of Play, for bringing up that question and information. I'm sure that has helped somebody. Okay, we'll put more emphasis. I may actually create a video if you want on how to boost your immunity, how to boost your immune system, how to deal with infections and all in a video. I will try to come up with a video for that. Right. So I was talking about your experience trying to find out, do you actually know the exact time that you fall asleep? Okay, so if you're able to watch this now, we have one response, and the person says no. If you're able to say no, if you're able to, okay, if you're able to see this, just respond and let me know. Okay, I'll just say that really, I'm not sure. I try to research if there is any way an individual can know the exact time that they fall asleep. That's really a mystery. Of course, God has given man wisdom and um, opportunity to learn and to discover many things. Of course, there are trackers. There are things. Talk about Fitbit. Talk about Apple Watch or watches. We talk about different devices that you can use, even your phone, to track your activity levels. Okay, and then some of these trackers talk about how you can note, maybe estimate that you went into a sleep mode when you were a bit less active. All right, so they serve majorly as um, para monitors, something like that, if I may call them that. Okay, they help to determine, measure movements. They help to monitor breathing activity, heart activity. So the more rested, the more the lowering of heart rate. Okay, so in a way, those devices, those apps are actually helpful, but I'm not sure they can really say the specific time. So if you know of any device that can actually pick the exact time that an individual sleeps, then let me know in the chat. I really appreciate it. And if you are watching this, the replay of this, you can also mention it in the chat. Okay, so when my son asked that question, I get I responded to him. I explained to him. I'm sure that he will get to discover, maybe as he grows, uh, generations with different discoveries, something may happen that someone may just discover. He may just discover how to get that done. God gives wisdom. He helps men. He helps us to discover things that He has actually hidden the wisdom to know things. Okay, so if uh, we look at it that way, one of the things that I need to emphasize is the fact that life is a special gift. It is a special gift from God, and you must, as an individual, see it as such. You must treasure your life. You must take responsibility in terms of the necessary care. You're playing your own part as an individual in your own health, making healthy choices, loving yourself, thinking well about yourself, acting in ways that are healthy. Okay? You know, you can be inactive, you can be indifferent, but that won't give you the required results or growth that you need to have. Okay, when you get involved, whether we talk about dietary changes, we talk about um, studying, doing extra to learn something, you know, you are developing your mental capacity, you are facing challenges and you're able to handle them better. You know, you just are doing things in a way to grow, to develop yourself. Then this way you are appreciating what God has given you. Okay, but if you neglect, if you do not care, some people don't actually have that uh caring attitude. I'm not even talking about caring attitude for others, talking about to themselves. An individual must, you must love yourself, and you must be sure to be taking good care of yourself, spirit, soul, and body. So if you miss out on this aspect, you are not likely to be living the fullness of the life that God has given you. So we need to treasure, appreciate the life that we have. You know, we've talked about the sleeping time. Do you actually know the exact time that you fall asleep? But you can wake up and say, "Oh, this is the time. I woke at such a time at this particular time." But it's all about a process of going into that sleep mode, and a process of recovering from that sleep mode to a more active mode. All right. This is a mystery. So it's only a fool that says there's no God. And you can see the evidence, evidently, the invisible hands, you know, unchanging hands behind these changing experiences that we are having as individuals. So that question got me thinking that we must learn to appreciate what God has given us, the gift of time, the gift of understanding, the gift of knowledge, wisdom, you know, all these things are available. You know, we have more information now than they did um, many generations ago. All right. So are we grateful? And are you using the information in such a way as to benefit you or make your life more productive? And you can also help others. This is a food for thought. And I believe someone is going to really take some decisions and uh, put up a plan and action steps to build your life, to appreciate your life. When I say appreciate, you know, there's a way you get something and like investing and appreciating that investment appreciating. So, the same way, this gift that we have received, the gift of life, it must keep appreciating by doing our own part. Because God is faithful, God is committed, God has made everything so beautiful, beautiful. And, like the Bible says, you are wonderfully and fearfully made. So if you have that understanding that you are wonderfully and fearfully made, you will treasure yourself as a wonderfully made person. You will treasure yourself as a um, fearfully made, in the sense of, amazing. You are an amazing person. Okay. So it doesn't matter the challenges that you have had, your background, growing up, doesn't matter. The important thing is now your own decision, your own choices, to live life in such a way that God will be happy with you. Okay. Because some people do not see themselves as custodians. We are custodians of God's gift, the gift of life, and you must uh, be a good custodian. You can't just treat your body in a way that is not giving honor to God. You know, you don't need to have a headache or abdominal pain before you know that you should drink more water. Okay, because dehydration can cause an individual to have a headache, can cause them to have abdominal uh, discomfort, abdominal pain. So there are other habits, there are other things that we may be doing or we refuse to do that may be hurting us, whether physically, when it comes to your body, or talking about even your mind. If you eat the right diet, if you eat well, you are likely to actually think well. Okay, so welcome back. If you eat well, you are likely to think better. But if you deprive yourself of the right kind of diet, the vitamins, the minerals, the glucose, the sugar you need, the right oil, when it comes to good cholesterol, the different things that your body needs to function properly. If you deprive yourself of these things, you are not being a good custodian of God's gift. Okay, so that really got me thinking that, oh, thank God my son my children are very inquisitive. They ask questions. Of course, they are learning, and they keep growing. Okay, so but sometimes we need to think, like children, and look at how special God has made us, and then as adults, we need to think about the responsibilities that we have to be custodians of God's gift, the gift of life, the different provisions that He has made available for us to live and enjoy life. So if you are going to enjoy your life, you are going to get the best of God, if you're going to appreciate, if your life is going to appreciate, then you should be doing the things that will make that happen. It's not just by mouth saying, it's by putting actions to your words. Actions to your words. Okay, so when are you going to start? Is there a disconnection? No, there's no disconnection. Okay, let me know if you can still hear me. Thank you for the fourth like. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to this live. May I know where you are watching from? Who is with us? It's been an interesting time. Uh, kindly respond to the question. Do you usually know the exact time that you fall asleep? Let's know in the chat. No, let's yes in the chat. Of course, you click on the yes or no, whichever one applies to you. So let me know what you think. For those that have been here, let me know what you think about the things I've shared. And what action steps, what are the areas that you should uh, improve. Because we are actually projects in we are getting better every day, but getting better involves taking some actions that will help in that growth, that will help in the better individual that you want to see. This year people have talked about goals that they have. What are the steps that you are taking to measure up, to meet up with those goals? Okay, and as you position yourself, as you prepare, as you plan, you are able to develop a system that you are working with, you are working by. You have principles guiding your life. Okay, so waking, for example, with that sense of appreciation to God, gratitude, very important. Recognizing that you are not here by yourself, recognizing the fact that you are who you are because God has given you the grace to be. No one can say, okay, I'm a self-made person, self-made. There's no self-made in the sense of real sense of it, because we have backgrounds, we have trainings, we have experiences, we have many things that have influenced or and then keep influencing our lives, decisions that we take. So you must be such an individual that is appreciative of God's gift. The first being that life that you have. It is in appreciating that, is in living that life. We'll be talking about very soon, we'll be having a session on work-life balance. There's a difference between life and work. Okay. Some people's life is just about work. Work. How long are you going to keep working? Of course, we are designed to move, we are designed to work, but there's more to life than work. So we must learn to put that balance in, where we understand that work is just a part of life. And of course, you need to be doing the right work, right kind of work, in the right way, for you to get the right results. All right. So if you are going to be a healthy person, if you're going to achieve your goals for this year, there are action steps. There is a way your life must be patterned to get those results. I believe somebody has learned one or two things from this session that we have had this morning. If you are just tuning in, I want to welcome you. That's the way it is. When you start talking about closing, that's when they call it the algorithm, right? The algorithm, the system starts to bring in more people. All right. So, welcome. If you are just tuning in, thank you for joining. All right. So, but you may need to actually go through the replay of this live as soon as it's available on the channel. So, thank you, Yusuf Aga. Thank you, Sanja. Thank you, the Archangel of Play. and everyone has showed up that was not able to drop a comment. I appreciate you all. So I'll see you again soon. So watch out for upcoming videos. And next time I come up live, it sure promises to be another interesting discussion. Thank you and bye for now.